Yeah. How big is the mental aspect of golf, and how did you personally think in order to make it onto the tour and compete at the highest level?
Some people put it into a formula of being, there's a physical aspect, which is the swing and your body, controlling that, and then the mental aspect, and is it 80-20 mental to physical? Is it 50-50? There's some days that the game comes easy to those that get to a certain level where it's almost like you get out of your way. If you remember Michael Jordan when he got in the zone, if you ever watch those old games, when Michael Jordan got into the zone, what did he do? He just went out there and he was just playing.
He was out there.
There was no thinking about or elbow under and
best ever
finger, right? I mean, he would even shoot shots that weren't shootable, and the coaches would normally yell at players, and he would look at the announcers going by and go, "Wait a minute, look what just happened," and nothing but net.
Yeah.
So there's a certain point where there are days where the physical is higher, and there are days where the mental is higher, depending on how your game is. And how things are going with you, and so you have to learn how to make that adjustment.
Right.
But I will say this: being tough mentally is important in golf.
Yeah.
Because you lose way more. It's not like a one-on-one baseball. 50% of the time you're going to win. Right. If you're just decent. Right. Now, granted, if you're terrible, okay, granted, you're 3-3-3 team and you're at the bottom of it. But at least you got a one-on-one chance. Golf, you start the week, you might be one out of 160 or 150 golfers that have a chance. So you've got to be mentally tough and understand. Golf's going to teach you how to lose first.
Right.
Before there aren't many Tiger Woods that start winning at the early age. There just aren't many of those. And then there's stories of those that do, and then they get on the tour and they can't win.
Right.
They can't miss.
Right.
Yeah.
So my next question is. So it's kind of a follow-up question. Was there any mental health steps that you took during that time, such as therapy, or would you advise therapy to young golfers that are trying to get onto the tour?
I had to take sports psych lessons. My struggle was getting below 68. I could go out and birdie 4 out of the first 5 holes. Hadn't missed a shot. I mean, everything going in the cup, feeling like I'm going to knock a 7-iron in the hole from 165, 170 yards. And then all of a sudden, I shoot 69. Oh, wait a minute, you start doing the math. You go, wait a minute, aren't you 4 under after 5? You only have 13 holes left? Yeah, and I shot 1 over on the last 13 holes. So for me, it was learning how to get that mental hurdle, how to get over. And so I took some mental sports psych lessons from 2 different people. One was a golf pro who had no problem shooting 63 and 62. And it seemed like every now and then it was like water coming out of a cup, and you just go, how'd you do that?
Wow.
And to hear people talk about that.
That's unbelievable.
And then I took sports psych lessons from actually a doctor of sports psych.
Right.
And her name was Deborah Graham out of Texas. I'm not sure if she's still practicing, but her system was incredible and helped me become a better golfer. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that.
Awesome. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask me?
So we talked about your best score, right? And we know that you're a slicer. Right?
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, all right. So coming from somebody that's just starting the game and trying to get your scores lower and lower, what do you think it takes to get better?
So personally, I think it's all about the short game. As you were saying earlier, you could be bombing the ball, but as long as you can't get up and on and in, there's no point. You can't do it. You literally can't. I think short game should be the biggest focus for anyone trying to get up there. You need to get your short game up to get your scores low.
You are correct.
That's at the end of the day. That's all.
Absolutely correct. You want to break 100, it's short game and putting.
Yeah.
Not hitting. You want to break 90, short game and putting. You want to break 85, short game and putting. Then you get down to 80 and you start going, hey, wait a minute. Okay, so now I'm hitting 8 greens in regulation and I can't break 80. Guess what?
You got to get
it's
your
the
drive.
greens that you miss. It's still short game and putting, because once your hitting gets better and better, which is so much easier to get better at hitting than it is short game and putting.
Right.
So you are right on. Good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Drew.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, everybody.
Peace out. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I appreciate that.
Hey, happy to help.